All right, you can start.
Well, I'd like to say a big welcome to everyone. Welcome to Sweet Pea headquarters, and I'm Allison, and today I have my beautiful assistant with me, Martyn. Assistant or model, I'm not sure which. You know, on game shows, yes, and they have the assistant model type thing. That's Martyn today. So, sewing guru on every other day of the week. We're a little bit late. We had a few technical issues. We're trialing some new software to go live on YouTube as well as Facebook at the same time. So I hope it's working for everyone out there. This morning we want to talk to you in particular about our Sweet Pea machine embroidery rulers. We've actually had them for sale for quite a while. And today we thought we'd explain to you how to use them. We've done this like a few times, but as we have new people joining all the time, we feel like it's important to tell you about that and also announce our sale, which is 40% off the rulers. You can purchase them individually or as a set and get the 40% off. We also have our Quilt Essential ruler, which we'll talk about a bit later, and that's also 40% off. But to get the discount, you have to make sure you have $75 worth of product in your cart. And I'm told that's all to do with making the shipping viable and everything on them, and it's good for you too. So what will we start with? I invented the rulers, so I'm actually an inventor.
Well, and they are really, really great product to use. They speed the process up of doing your in the hoop work, but they also create accuracy.
That's right.
Which is what we want. So we've got 7.
Yeah, and we use them here all the time, so it's not a gimmick or anything. And actually, when I first started Sweet Pea and was doing all the designing and testing and everything myself, to make things a lot more streamlined, I would cut out a whole pile of batting, the different sizes for the different hoops that I was using. For example, if you were doing a quilt, what's this one here? So maybe this one. This one is for a 5x5 to just design, and this actual line on here, if James can pick that up, the actual line on here is 5x5 inches. And the point of the machine embroidery rulers is, if you have a look at the beginning of all our instructions, we have there the batting to cut out, the fabric to cut out, everything. And when you're making something in a 5x5 hoop, we always tell you to cut your batting to 7 inches by 7 inches. And I got sick of using a large ruler to do that.
Yes, because it's long and it's fiddly and it gets caught.
This is so simple. So Martyn could probably show you how we use it just to cut out a plain piece of fabric or batting.
Yeah. So
he's actually got some.
So what we want to do is we want to say we've got our stabilizer in our hoop already and it's in position. And so we put our first piece of batting down. Sometimes we have a placement line, sometimes we don't. So this is a 5x7 hoop, and so my piece of batting will be 7x9.
That's right, and we have the ruler here, which you can see that Martyn's used that to cut that piece of batting out.
Yep. So that's the size.
It's just one of those time savers that you can just go to your batting and cut out a whole lot and have it prepared for whatever you're making.
So I'm going to just put one of the grips on it. So this is a grip. So that holds. Put this
under there maybe so that everyone can see.
And so therefore I can now, without any effort, and I get an accurate.
Yep. And also, if the batting piece doesn't have to cover the whole design like we've got hooped up there, and it's only going to be, by a certain number of inches, you can just slide your ruler up.
Because we've got the markings on the side.
We have inches on 2 sides, and then we have centimetres on 2 sides. So you can use it like a normal ruler as well for smaller pieces. And then for larger pieces, we always take out our Quilt Essentials ruler.
Excuse me.
That's all right. The sneezes. Which is 24 inches long and 6.5 inches wide. And we use that to cut out, I used it to cut out this piece of fabric here, actually, for that we'll be using later. And then for anything smaller, we always use one of our smaller rulers, which is good because they fit on one of these rotary cutting mats.
So I'm a bit mean sometimes when it comes to means. I mean stingy, or I like to actually save stuff. So sometimes if I know my batting's going to sit outside my stitching, I actually just peel a little bit more off it in there because I don't want to waste the extra.
Yep, they're versatile, but because the dotted line is on there, that's exactly where your 5x7 tack down stitch will be. You know, if you move that across that's where your stitching line will be.
Absolutely. So it's quite safe to use. The other thing I like about this is that this one gives you an inch margin around the whole area. So it gives you a position that you can actually, with your, you can actually hold it into position while this is being tacked down without getting too close to the foot, and you can use it. Use the pink thing, or
don't want to needle through our fingers, do we?
So we allow an inch on the outside edge of it, so as you've got enough grip to hold on to it.
Yeah,
because you don't want your fingers wandering underneath the needle.
So also, Martyn, we didn't say anything about the actual sizes that are available in the sets.
So we have 4x4, 5x5, 6x6, 8x8.
Yep. And then
we have rectangular ones are 5x7, 6x10, and 7x12.
That's right, and that's your hoop size, not the ruler size. So for what we say is our ruler for the 7x12 is 9 times 14 inches.
Yeah, so it adds you the extra margin of 1 inch around the outside edge, so that it adds it already. Yep. Now we've chosen those sizes because they're the standard embroidery format sizes. Now not every brand has those size hoops, but they are close.
And you can adapt yours to your hoop size.
Yes, I mean, so as if you were using a Jananian machine, you'd know that you would actually cut this out, but you'd leave an inch off because of the hoop's not that long. Yeah, but it's smaller, well, it's shorter. So it's just about managing what the hoops you have there for your machine. It's not about cutting the stabilizer. It's for batting and fabric. It's not for stabilizer.
Not particularly. They're not exactly the right size for your stabilizer. But as you just said, you can maybe this would do for your stabilizer, but you would have to check your hoop size. Put the ruler over the top of your hoop and make sure that would be sufficient. So you can still use them for that.
But the thing is that you wouldn't be cutting your stabilizer out with the ruler that matches your hoop size, because it wouldn't work.
That's right. And we didn't actually say the gripper comes free with every set.
Okay.
So if you purchase a set, and if you just want to buy some individual rulers just in the sizes that you use, mostly, you can actually purchase a gripper. They're not very expensive. And you just go like that, cut around, and you go like that. It's absolutely fantastic.
I mean, they are great. One of the reasons we started off, I think we had a handle originally, didn't we?
We do, and the Australian rulers do actually have a handle, but we had trouble that they were making them too large to ship, and it was costing you more for your shipping.
Too hard to ship, too fragile to ship. Yeah, so when they're all stacked together with a gripper, much easier.
But a perfect time to buy them now. If you missed the beginning of our talk today, they're 40% off at the moment, and you can purchase them either individually and get the discount, or you can purchase them as a set. The sale finishes on the 16th of September. And it's important that you also have $75 worth of product. Doesn't have to be rulers, but of any of our products that you're getting shipped to you, it has to be $75, and then 40% will come off.
So you don't have to use them just on a tuning board. You can use them on your normal cutting board.
That's right.
The reason I like this is because it's easy to turn around. So many brands of these on the market, and they're square or they're circular. They just make it even easier.
Well, Martyn, you've got one of these at home, so you're used to using that. So Martyn uses that. The girls normally use.
And here I use this. Yes, exactly.
If you need one of
Do you want to have a look about fussy cutting?
Yes.
So there's a little 4x4.
We'll show it on here, James, if you want to have a look at that. Martyn can get set up over here with whatever he's using. So we've explained to you the measurements around the side in imperial and metric, and then we've explained to you that this line here is actually the hoop where they will do the tack down stitch. So that's 4 inches by 4 inches. So now we'll explain to you what the crosshair in the middle is for. So it's exactly the middle of the hoop. So you could use it for multiple reasons that you could come up with, but the main reason we use it is because we use it to fussy cut.
Yeah.
And Martyn will show you here to explain what fussy cutting is.
Well, fussy cutting is about managing a design on fabric, so as you can actually center it into your design. So if you had a block that required a flower in the middle of it, or it doesn't have to be a flower, it could be an animal, it could be anything. And perfect example, putting things into frames.
Yeah, like a lot of people have been doing in
for bookshelves. So we've got the crosshairs which match this design perfectly. Now you'll see that this particular piece of fabric is off grain, but we need the flower so as it is actually totally square in the hoop. So I've got my lines through my design one way and my horizontal lines the other way. And then I can go ahead and then cut this out so as I know that it's not going to be it's not going to shift. We know that it's going to be in the right position for. Let's go a little bit closer there.
Never works perfectly on camera, does it?
Of course it doesn't. There we go. And a little corner there like we get all the time. But there we know that this piece of design is right in the middle of our cutout fabric, so we can position it in our work really
and I mean,
easily.
let's face it, it's versatile. So if you wanted half the flower,
absolutely,
you know that's exactly where it will be stitched through. So you can just use that crosshair as a guide.
Yes. So I mean, it's just really handy to use, really handy to have. I think that these rulers make it so much more simple to cut out good squares, and you've got to promote accuracy.
Yeah,
it's simple as that. Great. There's nothing worse than actually stitching around the edge of something and finding that you've actually totally missing it.
To tell you the truth, the difference between when you see someone's bag or quilt that's stitched and it just looks professional, and then someone's that doesn't look so much so professional is ironing.
Yes.
And just neatness while you're sewing. So if I was cutting that piece out, I would always iron it first and then cut it out, and then you have a completely square, flat piece of fabric.
For me, when I'm doing projects, I like to cut everything. I have all my pieces of fabric cut, ready to go. So for every project, I've already cut, so I know where I am.
But we would recommend doing a test cut first.
Oh yes.
Or like to do one block first to make sure that you've got everything right. And you know what you're doing before you cut. Don't cut out a whole quilt, please.
But having the stacks of these, and these
we have ready. Yes, definitely.
It's just so handy. You can go to the drawer, grab out 10.
Especially if you're pushed for space, and like you just say this was your workspace, and now you're up to cutting fabric. You don't want to keep getting out your roll of batting or a big folded piece or something. So we just get our batting out, clear the table, just cut a whole lot that we need. I mean, even if you've cut this out, and then you find out this is for a 6x10 hoop, so this would be 8x12. If then in your design it says you need a piece of batting 8x6 or whatever, you could just still use this and cut it in half. And then we always end up using these then for other designs.
Absolutely. Well, we have a little scrap box which we delve into quite regularly. A couple of things. Again, this is available. These are available on Amazon and Etsy and those sorts of places. It's not something we stock.
What's it called, Martyn? Is it a lazy Susan cutting board or a turntable?
It's a turn cutter. It's a cutting mat which turns. I mean,
so just Google that and then you'll find someone who supplies them close to.
Because it's I think it's called a rotating cutting mat.
Okay, rotating cutting mat.
And as far as we've got a stand for our rollers. They're available online as well. It's not something that
a lot of people have different ideas, and actually they just all sit flat against each other if you just want to have them in a drawer or something.
I think it's I have mine on a stand on the end of my bench there, but I continually shifting them. So I think it'll probably be a much better in a drawer.
Anyway, so we'll just mention again, if you buy the set of rulers, you get this gripper with them. And if you're purchasing individual rulers, you can actually purchase a gripper separately on the website. Is there anything else we need to say?
Only thing about the gripper is that you're going to make sure that the surface is clean.
Both
surfaces are clean, and you open it up by having one of the handles down in the center, close it up, and then ready to go.
That's right.
Okay, very, very simple, easy on the hands. It actually has got a nice way of holding this, especially if you do have reluctant hands.
That's right, arthritis or something is very helpful.
It's got a nice firm grip on it, and you're not going to actually slip.
Yep.
You don't want to be slipping when you're using your rocky colour. That's real.
Anyway, so that's all the information we have for you today about our machine embroidery rules. So I hope you enjoy using them. And then don't forget, we also sell sweet pea cutting boards.
Yep.
And
We only have stock in the USA though.
Oh, we only have stock in the USA. Sorry, Australia.
Sorry, Australia. Yeah.
They've got inches on both sides there. And then on this side is metric.
Yep.
So that's imperial and this is metric. There's also some handy angles and everything down there if you're cutting out some other pieces for other types of quilts or something and you need that feature. And then the same on this side. They also have all these angled lines for you. This one here is the 45-degree one. That's probably the most important. If you're cutting out something square, that's the exact corner there.
So the reason why we have metrics on it is because outside of the US, a lot of the embroiderers are imperial metrics there, and they're used to actually cutting in metrics and reading in metrics there.
We've got both on our mat.
So we've got both sides covered.
Everyone's
covered.
Anyway, so don't forget to purchase everything today for 40% off. You get the discount. That's a big discount actually on a whole set or something. So
there's one question here.
Oh, we have a question?
Will you be having the sale at the Houston show?
Oh, yes, we're going to Houston soon. I actually leave Australia on the 7th of October and I don't get back to the end of November. So we'll be gone for a couple of months. And while we're away, we will be at a show in Nashville in Tennessee. And then from there, we go to Houston to the International Quilt Festival. And then from there, we'll be up at Puyallup, which is up near Seattle.
Will we have these on the stand? We'll have the rules on the
We'll
stand?
have the rulers and everything on the stand.
Will there be a discount?
I'm not going to say what we're going to have discounts on, but we will be having a lot of discounts and everything. We love to meet all our customers and find new customers, of course. So it's a good opportunity to give you a treat and let you take home some of our beautiful products, our faux leather and cork and zips and threads. Yes, especially we've got some out there, our beautiful sweet pea and creddy threads. So hopefully we'll see you there. Any more questions?
No, just if there's any more.
Oh, someone said they finally figured out that we're 15 hours ahead of Central US time.
Yeah, sorry. We're already tomorrow.
Yeah, we're already tomorrow. I don't know what time it is now, but we started here at 10 a.m., so maybe 10:30-ish in the morning. So probably your night there. Anyway.
We are your tomorrow.
Yeah,
that should be our new slogan.
Yeah. All right. Until next time, thank you for joining us.
Bye now.
Bye. Have a good day.